Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990s Represent. We're starting off our fourth cycle of 1990 and basically our fourth run through of the entire decade. So we are starting this episode off with an album. In this episode, we're talking about Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cocteau Twins. Really good album. I hadn't heard it before, so this was my first time listening to it somewhat recently. I tried to listen to an album on the bus to work. And this one's actually, I think, a fairly short album. So I finished one album and forget what that other album was. And then when I was getting ready to start this next cycle of the decade in 1990, I just did a search for, best albums of 1990. A bunch of those are ones that we already covered, like Violator and albums like that. But this one showed up at a lot of lists as being one of the best, and I listened to it and absolutely loved it. It was really good. I think I've heard maybe like a handful of Cocteau Twins songs over the years, but never an entire album. So like I said, this is my first time going through this album, but I really enjoyed it. I have some notes here about the album. We're going to get through that, and we'll discuss the track list and all that kind of stuff. Like I've mentioned on the 1998 series, and I think a few times on this series, is there are going to be episodes sometimes where I am listening to something, watching something, or playing something for the first time. These ones are a lot of fun because I don't have any kind of frame of reference for like how I felt about it when it came out. A lot of times if it's a movie I saw back when it came out, I will have kind of like a little bit of like nostalgic stories to it. We don't have that with this one, but it's really interesting to take a look at some of this stuff from a brand new, listening to it for the first time or whatever it might be. So we have some notes here. We get through those, and then we will get through all of that. So just give me one moment. There we go. So Cocteau Twins, so Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cocteau Twins, first released September 17th, 1990. This was their sixth studio album. Like I mentioned, this is the first time listening to it. I think this song, according to my research, in the UK, it peaked at number 7 on their charts, and it peaked at number 99 on the US Billboard 200. So a little bit in between, like halfway through there. Let's see what we got here. This is their most successful album, at least from a commercial standpoint. So I don't really have any reference to how their other albums did commercially, but this one here is their best-selling record at this point. The band is broken up at this point. I think they broke up in like 97, maybe 96. I think 96 may have been their last record, and then 97 is when I think they actually broke up. But after listening to this, I will definitely be checking out some of their other work as well. So some people from the band, so Elizabeth Fraser, who is the vocalist, and Robin Guthrie were a couple for a while, and Elizabeth was pregnant going into the coming off of the release of their previous album, heading into the kind of recording process for this one here. Apparently, Robin Guthrie had fallen into a bunch of drug problems off the previous record. And I think people in the band and Elizabeth were thinking, well, maybe, like me being pregnant, this is kind of like, according to my research, her being pregnant, maybe will get him off of his like drug dependency, and it'll like give him something else to focus on. According to my research, that didn't really work out. He ended up, I think, like still having drug issues, and it definitely strained the relationship between herself and Robin Guthrie. So it didn't really work out there. Let me bring up these quotes here. There's some quotes I wanted to check out. And let's see, was that the... Okay, yeah, so speaking on kind of the pregnancy and stuff like that, and kind of like being pregnant and then, having the kid and having, like, I don't want to say, like, put words in her mouth about, like, postpartum depression, but it just kind of sounds like it could be it. But the quote was, quote, suddenly I had confidence, which I've never ever had in my life, which I consequently lost after I had the baby because it's such a frightening experience. You lose it again and you have to start over again. But it does change you. So that was a quote from her, kind of about kind of like how she was feeling, kind of like becoming pregnant and then having the kid, and then kind of like leading into the kind of recording process for the album. Their baby, Robin Guthrie and Elizabeth Baby, was born in 1989. Near the same time, very shortly after their baby was born, Simon Raymond, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, another member of the band, his father passed away shortly after Robin and Elizabeth had their baby. And there was a quote from him I wanted to read as well. Let's see here if I can pull it up. Yeah, let me just see if there is a quote here. There was. Okay, here it is. So it says, quote, I was only 27. I was still quite young. And he was a very, sorry, I'll just start the quote over. Quote, I was only 27. I was still quite young. And he was a very influential guy to me. So that was a big blow. But looking back on it, having a major life event happening probably helped the record have that edge to it. So kind of like there's a bunch of people in the band having personal issues, and that kind of works its way into like the writing and the lyrics and things like that. So you have these major life events that, you know, influence the tone of the album, like not only just like instrumentally but also lyrically. So you can take like a bad situation and, you know, turn it into art, which is looks like what they all kind of did here. Let's see here. There's another quote from Elizabeth about the kind of composition of the album. So this is, quote, there was Salvation too. In terms of helping save her relationship with Guthrie, the joy of bringing a baby into the world that could love, it did give them a new lease on life, and it gave the album an energy and vibrancy. It was very easy to make the music. So again, kind of to the point before, these, you know, life events kind of working their way into the music. The album came out to, we're going to get to the reviews now. The album came out to very good reviews. It showed up on like a lot of like best of lists of like the specific year, so 1990, a lot of lists of, you know, best albums from the entire decade. It was also featured in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. I've been trying to work my way through some of those as well. I'm probably not going to listen to all of them, but that would be a cool project to listen to all the albums in that book. A bunch of them I probably have already listened to. But very good reviews for this album. Just go through those. AllMusic has it at a 5 out of 5. Entertainment Weekly has it at a B-. NME has it at looks like a 9 out of 10 there. Pitchfork has it at a 10 out of 10. So Pitchfork is notorious kind of, I think in a good way, for being somewhat harsh on the reviews. So getting a 10 from them is really impressive. Q has it at a 4 out of 5. Let's see, Record Mirror has it at a 4.5 out of 5. Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 4 out of 5. Select has it at a 4 out of 5 as well. While Vox has it at a 10 out of 10. So just overall very good reviews. Kind of don't know why I didn't listen to this album sooner. Kind of like, I guess, regret not hearing it, you know, like before I listened to it. But I'm glad that I eventually did come out and I decide to listen to it because it's an excellent album. It's like dream pop. It's very kind of like, there's some songs that are very ethereal. Let me actually pull up the genres here this is ambient pop and dream pop are the two primary genres for this album. Let's see here. And then finally, we're going to get into our track list. So again, it's 10 tracks, and it's about 37 minutes and 42 seconds. So a little on the short side, but like I said, a perfect length album for like my commute to work. So I listened to some other album that was a little bit shorter, and then this popped up and decided to listen to it. So again, 10 tracks, 37 minutes and 42 seconds. Track 1, we have Cherry Colored Funk. Track 2 is Pitch the Baby. Track 3 is Ice Blink Luck. Track 4 is 50/50 Clown. Track 5 is Heaven or Las Vegas, so the title track there. Track 6 is I Wear Your Ring. Track 7 is, let's see, Photopodic, I think, pronouncing that correctly. Let me actually just copy that and put it into a different thing so I can actually see what it says here. Yeah, so Photopolitic. Hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, that is track 7. Track 9 is Wolf in the Breast. Track 9 is Road, River, and Rail. And then finally at track 10, we have Frofro Foxes in Midsummer Fires. So again, the 10 tracks at 37 minutes and 42 seconds. Just a really good album that, like I said, I was brand new to this album. I obviously had heard of the Cocteau Twins before, but wasn't really listening to them when they were active. Like I said, they've been broken up. Let me actually double check that. So they were active, let's see here, from, looks like 1979 to 1997. And their final album was, 1996. So this was they would release 2 more albums after this one in 1993 and their final one in 1996. So I definitely will check out some of their other music because I really enjoyed this one. I think a lot of people say this is kind of their best album. So I'm kind of glad I started off there. Gonna check out some of the other stuff in the future as well. But that is going to do it for this episode. So again, this is our first entry into our 4th cycle on 1990. We'll be back in a few days doing a movie. I think I have something really fun planned for that. And then we'll be coming back from that with another computer or video game before moving into our 4th cycle in 1991 and all the way back up through the decade. So again, that's going to do it for now. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time. Thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.